Hello there, and welcome to Sleepy Science. Imagine an animal that lives right beside humans, yet most people almost never notice it. Every night, while cities become quiet and forests grow dark, a small masked creature quietly begins its routine. It moves through trees, rooftops, riversides, and even backyards with an intelligence that often surprises scientists. This animal can open containers, remember complex routes, recognize objects just by touch, and solve problems many other mammals cannot. But here's the curious part. Most people still think of raccoons as nothing more than simple trash raiders. So the real question is, what are raccoons actually doing during those long, silent nights? Tonight, we're going to slowly explore the hidden world of raccoons and discover the surprisingly fascinating facts about one of nature's most intelligent nighttime animals. Raccoons are often described as one of the most adaptable mammals in North America, and there is a very simple reason for that. These animals have an unusual ability to live in many different environments without struggling to survive. In the past, raccoons mostly lived in forests, wetlands, and areas near rivers where food and shelter were easy to find. But over time, raccoons slowly learned how to live close to humans as well. Today, you can find them in quiet countryside areas, deep forests, farms, suburbs, and even busy cities. What makes this so interesting is that many animals fail when their environment changes, but raccoons do the opposite. They adjust their habits, their diet, and even their behavior to match the new conditions around them. If natural food becomes harder to find, they search for new sources. If trees are limited, they find shelter in buildings. Scientists often study raccoons because their ability to adapt is so strong. In many ways, raccoons are survival experts that quietly succeed in places where other animals would struggle. Most people rarely see raccoons during the day, and there is a clear reason for that. Raccoons are primarily nocturnal animals, which means they are active during the night and rest during the daytime. As the sun begins to set and the environment becomes quieter, raccoons slowly leave their dens to begin searching for food. Nighttime offers several advantages for them. The temperature is cooler, which helps them conserve energy while moving around. Many predators are less active in areas where raccoons live, making it safer for them to explore. At the same time, the darkness provides natural cover that helps them stay hidden. While humans sleep, raccoons quietly move through forests, riverbanks, and neighborhoods, carefully looking for anything they can eat. Their nightly routine can last for several hours as they travel across their territory. This hidden lifestyle is why many people feel raccoons appear suddenly and mysteriously. In reality, raccoons are simply following a schedule that takes place almost entirely after dark. One of the first things people notice about raccoons is the dark band of fur around their eyes. This marking looks very similar to a mask, which is why raccoons are sometimes called masked bandits. But scientists believe this feature may actually have a useful purpose. The dark fur around the eyes may help reduce glare and improve vision at night. During nighttime, light from the moon or nearby sources can reflect off surfaces such as water or leaves. Bright reflections can make it harder for animals to focus on small movements in the dark. The raccoon's dark mask may absorb some of that extra light and reduce the glare that reaches their eyes. This helps them see more clearly when searching for insects, frogs, or small animals. Their eyes are already adapted for low light conditions, and the mask might give them an extra advantage. It is a small detail, but it shows how many features of raccoons are perfectly suited for life in the nighttime world. Even the name, raccoon, has an interesting history that many people never think about. The word actually comes from a language spoken by the Algonquian people. one of the Native American groups who lived in North America long before European settlers arrived. In their language, the word sounded similar to a rough gun, which roughly meant one who scratches with its hands. This name was chosen because early observers noticed how raccoons constantly use their front paws when exploring objects. Unlike many animals that rely mostly on their mouths or noses, raccoons depend heavily on their hands. They pick things up, turn objects around, and feel surfaces carefully before deciding if something is food. Their paws are extremely flexible and sensitive, allowing them to investigate the world in a very detailed way. When European settlers arrived, they adopted a simplified version of this word, which eventually became the name we use today. So the name raccoon is not random at all. It actually describes one of the animal's most important abilities. Raccoons also have a scientific name that scientists use when studying animals around the world. The name is Procyon later, and like many scientific names, it actually tells a small story about the animal. The first part, Procyon, comes from Greek words that mean before the dog or dog-like. Early naturalists thought raccoons looked a little similar to small dogs because of their body shape and their curious behavior. The second part of the name, later, comes from a Latin word that means washer. When these two words are combined, the meaning becomes something close to washing dog. This name might sound strange at first, but there is a reason scientists chose it. Many early explorers noticed raccoons placing food into water and moving their paws around as if they were washing it. Because this behavior appeared so often, it became one of the most famous things about raccoons. That is why their scientific name still reflects that observation today, even though scientists later discovered something more interesting behind that behavior. When early explorers and naturalists first watched raccoons near rivers and streams, they noticed a strange habit that caught their attention. Before eating, raccoons often placed their food into water and moved it around with their paws. To human observers, this action looked very similar to washing food before a meal. Because people were not sure why raccoons were doing this, the simplest explanation seemed obvious. They believed raccoons were cleaning dirt from their food, just like a person rinsing fruit under water. Over time, this idea spread widely, and many people began to think raccoons were unusually neat animals that liked to wash their meals. This belief became so common that it even influenced the animal's scientific name. However, as scientists studied raccoons more carefully, they started to notice something interesting. Raccoons sometimes performed the same behavior even when their food was already clean. They would dip it in water anyway. This observation created a new question that researchers wanted to understand more deeply. Scientists later discovered that raccoons are not actually washing their food in the way people first imagined. Instead, dipping food into water helps raccoons use one of their strongest senses, which is touch. The front paws of raccoons contain thousands of tiny nerve endings that allow them to feel very small details. When their paws become wet, these nerve endings become even more sensitive. Water softens the outer layer of the skin and makes it easier for raccoons to detect textures, shapes, and movement. So when a raccoon dips food into water and moves it around, it is actually gathering more information about what it is holding. This is especially useful at night when visibility is limited. By touching the food carefully, raccoons can figure out whether something is safe to eat or not. This behavior may look simple, but it shows how cleverly raccoons use their senses to understand their environment. It also explains why they sometimes perform this action even when the food does not need cleaning. One of the most interesting things about raccoons is how strongly they depend on touch when exploring objects around them. Many animals rely mainly on their eyes or their sense of smell to understand their surroundings. Raccoons are different. Their front paws act almost like highly sensitive tools that gather information from the world. Each paw contains a large number of nerve endings, which send detailed signals to the raccoon's brain. Because of this, raccoons can learn a surprising amount simply by touching something for a few seconds. They may rotate objects, press them gently, or move them around to understand their shape and texture. This ability is especially important during the night when light is limited and vision becomes less reliable. In many situations, raccoons trust their sense of touch more than their eyesight. Scientists who study animal intelligence often find this fascinating. It shows that raccoons experience their environment in a very hands-on way, almost like a person examining an object carefully with their fingers. One of the most surprising things about raccoons is the sensitivity of their front paws. At first glance, their paws may look small and simple, but they are actually packed with thousands of tiny nerve endings. These nerve endings work like sensors, constantly sending signals to the raccoon's brain. Because of this, raccoons can feel extremely small details that many animals would miss. The skin on their paws is especially soft and flexible, which allows them to press gently against surfaces and detect textures. Scientists discovered that a large portion of a raccoon's brain is connected directly to processing touch from their paws. In simple terms, their paws act almost like advanced tools for exploring the world. When raccoons search for food, they rarely grab something quickly. Instead, they pause, touch the object carefully, and move it around slowly. This careful touching helps them understand what they are holding. It is one reason raccoons appear so curious whenever they discover something new. Because raccoons have such sensitive paws, they are able to identify objects using touch alone. This ability becomes extremely useful because raccoons are mostly active during the night. In darkness, vision becomes less reliable, but their paws continue to gather information. When a raccoon finds something interesting, it usually pauses and begins examining it carefully. The animal may turn the object slowly, press its fingers around it, and feel every surface. By doing this, the raccoon learns about the object's size, shape, and texture. Scientists have tested raccoons in controlled experiments, and the results were surprising. Even when researchers removed visual clues, raccoons could still recognize certain objects just by touching them. Their brains store these tactile memories, allowing them to remember the feel of something they explored earlier. This means a raccoon might recognize food or a useful object even in total darkness. It is almost like their paws act as a second pair of eyes. Another fascinating detail about raccoons is how their paws function, almost like human hands. Unlike many animals, raccoons have 5 long fingers on each front paw. These fingers are flexible and can spread apart, allowing them to grip objects in different ways. While raccoons do not have thumbs like humans do, their fingers can still move independently. This gives them an unusual level of control and precision. When a raccoon finds something interesting, it rarely bites it immediately. Instead, it picks the object up and examines it slowly with both paws. Researchers have watched raccoons open containers, lift lids, and even pull apart simple objects. This level of control is uncommon among many mammals. Because their paws behave in such a skilled way, scientists often compare raccoon paws to primitive versions of human hands. This ability helps raccoons solve problems, manipulate food, and explore their surroundings with impressive accuracy. When raccoons examine objects, they rarely do it quickly. Instead, they move slowly and carefully, rotating the object in their paws. This movement allows them to explore every angle and gather more information. For example, if a raccoon finds a shell, a piece of fruit, or even a small container, it will usually turn it around several times. During this process, the raccoon presses its fingers along the surface, feeling small bumps, edges, and textures. By rotating the object, the raccoon can understand its full shape. This careful examination helps them decide whether the object contains food or something useful. Scientists believe this behavior shows advanced curiosity. Many animals simply check something once and then move on. Raccoons are different. They behave more like investigators, slowly studying objects before making a decision. Watching this process can feel surprisingly thoughtful. It shows that raccoons do not just react to their environment. They actively study it. Many people think raccoons are simple animals, but their behavior often surprises researchers. One reason is their ability to open objects that seem difficult at first. Raccoons have been observed opening jars, lifting lids, sliding small latches, and even turning simple handles. Their flexible fingers and strong curiosity allow them to test objects again and again until something moves. When a raccoon finds a closed container, it usually does not give up quickly. Instead, it begins touching different parts, pulling gently and rotating the object in its paws. If one side moves slightly, the raccoon notices the change and tries that movement again. Over time, this careful testing often leads to success. In neighborhoods, raccoons sometimes open trash bins, coolers, or food containers left outside. This ability is not random luck. It shows that raccoons understand cause and effect. When they move something and it changes, they remember that action and repeat it later. Scientists became especially interested in raccoon intelligence when they began studying how raccoons solve problems. In controlled experiments, researchers placed food inside containers that could only be opened through a certain action. Sometimes the container required pulling a lever, sliding a latch, or lifting a small lid. At first, raccoons would explore the container slowly, touching different parts with their paws. They might pull something, rotate something else, and test many possibilities. Eventually, one movement would open the container. What surprised scientists was what happened next. The raccoon quickly remembered the successful action and repeated it much faster the next time. Researchers began designing more complex tasks to see how far raccoons could go. In many cases, raccoons continued solving these challenges step by step. These experiments helped scientists understand that raccoons do not act randomly. Instead, they observe results, learn from them, and adjust their behavior based on what works. One of the most impressive parts of raccoon intelligence is their long memory. In some experiments, raccoons were trained to solve certain tasks, such as opening a container in a specific way. After learning the solution, the raccoons were removed from the experiment for a long period of time. Months passed, and sometimes even years. When the animals were later placed in front of the same puzzle again, many of them solved it almost immediately. They remembered the exact action that worked before. This ability surprised researchers because long-term memory like this is not common in many animals. It means raccoons store useful experiences in their brains and can use them later when needed. In the wild, this skill becomes very helpful. If a raccoon discovers a place where food is hidden, it may remember that location long after the first visit. This strong memory helps raccoons survive and find resources more efficiently. Because raccoons are intelligent and curious, they rarely ignore new things in their environment. Instead, they often approach slowly and begin investigating whatever they discover. When a raccoon notices an unfamiliar object, it usually pauses and studies it carefully. The animal may walk around it, sniff it lightly, and then start touching it with its paws. This behavior makes raccoons appear constantly curious, almost like small explorers moving through their world. Curiosity helps them learn about their surroundings and find new food sources. For example, if a raccoon hears a strange sound or notices a container that was not there before, it often moves closer to examine it. This habit sometimes brings raccoons into human areas where food is easy to find. But the behavior itself is natural. In the wild, animals that explore new opportunities often survive better. Raccoons simply follow their curiosity, and that curiosity often leads them to useful discoveries. Young raccoons do not understand the world on their own at first. When they are born, they depend completely on their mother for safety, food, and guidance. As the young raccoons grow, they begin learning important skills by carefully watching their mother's actions. During the night, the mother raccoon leaves the den, and the young slowly follow behind her. While moving through trees, grass, and small streams, the babies observe everything she does. When the mother searches for food, she touches objects, lifts leaves, and explores the ground with her paws. The young raccoons quietly watch these movements. After observing, they try to copy the same actions themselves. At first, their attempts are clumsy and slow, but with time, they improve. This learning process is very important for survival. By watching their mother closely, young raccoons discover where food can be found, how to climb safely, and how to explore new places without danger. Play is another important way young raccoons learn about their environment. When people see baby raccoons rolling around, chasing each other, or grabbing objects, it may look like simple fun, but these playful moments are actually helping them develop important skills. When young raccoons wrestle gently with their siblings, they are improving their balance and coordination. When they chase one another through branches or grass, they learn how to move quickly and avoid obstacles. Sometimes they pick up sticks, leaves, or small stones and begin turning them around with their paws. This playful touching helps them practice the same movements they will later use to examine food. Scientists believe play allows young animals to test their abilities without serious risk. If a raccoon makes a mistake during play, nothing bad happens. Over time, these small playful experiments slowly build the problem-solving skills that raccoons rely on when they become adults. As scientists studied raccoons more closely, they decided to test how intelligent these animals really are. In some experiments, researchers used puzzle boxes that were originally designed to study primates such as monkeys. These puzzles required animals to perform certain actions to receive food. For example, an animal might need to pull a lever, slide a piece, or lift a small door before the food could be reached. When raccoons were given these same puzzles, the results surprised many researchers. The raccoons began examining the puzzle carefully with their paws, touching different parts until something moved. After discovering the correct movement, they repeated it with confidence. In some cases, raccoons solved the puzzle just as quickly as animals that were known for high intelligence. This discovery helped scientists understand that raccoons are far more capable thinkers than many people once believed. Their curiosity and careful exploration give them strong problem-solving abilities. Another reason raccoons are considered intelligent is the size of their brain compared to their body. Scientists often measure this by looking at something called the brain-to-body ratio. This simply means comparing how large an animal's brain is compared to the size of its body. Animals with larger brain ratios usually have stronger learning abilities and better memory. Raccoons have one of the highest brain-to-body ratios among many mammals of similar size. This helps explain why they can remember complex routes, solve puzzles, and adapt to many environments. A large part of the raccoon brain is also connected to their sense of touch. Because their paws are so sensitive, the brain must process a lot of information coming from them. This strong connection between paws and brain helps raccoons understand objects quickly. When people watch raccoons exploring things so carefully, they are actually seeing this powerful brain at work. Long before cities existed, raccoons were already living across large parts of North America. Scientists believe raccoons first evolved on this continent thousands of years ago, slowly adapting to the landscapes around them. Early raccoons likely lived in wide forest regions, where trees, streams, and natural shelters were easy to find. Over many generations, these animals learned how to survive in changing climates, different seasons, and many types of terrain. Fossil studies suggest that raccoon ancestors spread across the continent step by step, moving through forests and river valleys. Because raccoons could eat many different foods, they were able to live in places where other animals struggled. This flexibility helped their population grow across a wide area. Today, raccoons are still strongly connected to North America, even though they now appear in other parts of the world as well. Understanding where raccoons evolved helps explain why their bodies and behavior are perfectly suited for the environments found across this continent. In the wild, raccoons are most comfortable in environments where food, water, and shelter are easy to reach. Forests are one of the best places for raccoons to live because trees provide both protection and climbing opportunities. Inside a forest, raccoons can hide during the day and move safely through branches at night. Wetlands are another ideal habitat. These areas contain shallow water, thick plants, and plenty of insects, frogs, and small fish that raccoons can eat. Rivers and streams also play an important role in raccoon life. The edges of water sources often contain many types of food such as crayfish, small animals, fruits, and plants. Because raccoons use their paws to explore objects, shallow water gives them a perfect place to search for meals. The combination of trees, water, and natural cover makes these habitats extremely valuable. When all these elements exist in one area, raccoons can live comfortably without needing to travel very far. If you look closely at where raccoons choose to live, a pattern begins to appear. They almost always prefer places where trees grow close to water sources. Trees provide important advantages. During the daytime, raccoons need a safe place to rest and avoid predators. Hollow trees, thick branches, and natural cavities offer perfect hiding spots where raccoons can sleep undisturbed. At night, those same trees become pathways for travel. Raccoons often move through branches to stay hidden while exploring their surroundings. Water sources are equally important. Streams, ponds, and wetlands contain many types of food that raccoons enjoy eating. These places also allow raccoons to use their sensitive paws while searching for small animals in the water. When both trees and water are present, raccoons gain food, shelter, and safety all in one area. This combination explains why raccoons are frequently seen near riverbanks, wooded parks, and forest edges where these natural features come together. One ability that makes raccoons especially successful in these environments is their climbing skill. Raccoons are excellent climbers, and a large part of this ability comes from their flexible ankles. Unlike many animals, raccoons can rotate their hind feet in unusual ways. Their ankles can turn almost halfway around, which allows their feet to grip surfaces from different angles. This flexibility makes climbing trees much easier. When a raccoon climbs upward, its claws grip the bark while its strong legs push the body higher. But the most surprising part happens when raccoons climb down. Many animals struggle to move down a tree head first, but raccoons can rotate their hind feet so the claws point downward. This lets them walk down the trunk slowly and safely. Because of this special movement, raccoons can escape danger quickly by climbing trees. Their flexible ankles give them a major advantage in forests, where vertical movement can mean the difference between safety and risk. Raccoons have one of the most unusual features in their hind feet, which makes them excellent climbers. Unlike most animals, a raccoon's back feet can rotate almost 180 degrees. This means that the paw can turn completely backward compared to its normal forward position. The flexibility comes from special joints and muscles, which allow the raccoon to adjust its grip on trees and other surfaces. This unusual movement is rare in mammals, and it gives raccoons a significant advantage when navigating vertical spaces. It also allows them to maintain balance while holding onto branches or climbing on uneven surfaces. Scientists who study animal movement often point to this feature as one of the reasons raccoons survive so well in forests and urban areas. Without this unique rotation, climbing down from high trees would be much more dangerous. With it, raccoons can move smoothly, safely, and confidently, even when descending from great heights. Because raccoons can rotate their hind feet almost completely, they are able to climb down trees head first with surprising skill. Most animals must climb down backward, relying on their claws to slow their fall, but raccoons have found a better method. When moving downward, they rotate their hind feet so the claws face the tree trunk. This allows them to grip the bark while keeping their body aligned for a controlled descent. The front paws guide their movement and feel for the surface below. This ability lets raccoons escape quickly from predators or move to safe resting spots without hesitation. In the wild, this means they can reach the ground quietly and efficiently. Even in urban environments, raccoons use the same technique to climb down trees in yards, parks, or alleyways. It is an incredible example of how evolution shaped their bodies for life in complex environments. Their head-first descent looks effortless, but it is supported by precise anatomical design. During the day, raccoons rarely move through open areas. Instead, they rely on trees to provide a safe place to rest and sleep. Trees give them cover from predators, harsh weather, and human activity. A raccoon will often find a thick branch, a hollow space, or a high fork where it can curl up and stay hidden. Some raccoons even choose the same resting spot repeatedly because it is both safe and familiar. These resting places allow raccoons to conserve energy during daylight hours, so they are ready to search for food when night falls. In forests, trees are especially valuable because ground-level dangers are reduced, and the raccoon can observe the area from above. Even in urban areas, raccoons seek trees or high structures that offer similar security. By using trees as daytime shelters, raccoons protect themselves and maintain a safe routine. Their ability to choose the right resting place is an essential part of surviving both in the wild and near humans. Raccoons do not always rest in random spots. They carefully select dens that provide security and comfort. These dens can be hollow trees, abandoned burrows, or even spaces under rocks and logs. The most common choice in forests is a hollow tree, which offers shelter from rain, wind, and predators. Raccoons will examine several potential locations before settling in one, often choosing spots that are high above the ground. Abandoned burrows made by other animals are also useful because they already offer a safe interior. Inside the den, raccoons may line the floor with leaves, moss, or other soft material to make it more comfortable. For mother raccoons, dens are especially important, as they provide a safe environment for raising young. The selection process is deliberate, Raccoons need dens that are both protected and accessible. In urban areas, raccoons sometimes choose unusual dens such as attics or roof spaces, showing their ability to adapt. A carefully chosen den ensures that raccoons can rest safely during the day and be ready for nighttime exploration. During the colder months, raccoons sometimes make a surprising choice to share their dens with others. Even though raccoons are usually solitary, when winter brings freezing temperatures, multiple raccoons may gather in the same hollow tree, abandoned burrow, or attic space. Sharing a den helps them conserve heat, which makes it easier to survive cold nights. Inside the shared space, each raccoon positions itself to stay warm while avoiding conflicts. Scientists who observe raccoons in cold climates notice that these groupings are usually temporary and often include family members, such as siblings or a mother with older offspring. Sharing dens is not a permanent change in behavior, but it demonstrates the raccoon's flexibility and awareness of survival needs. Even small mammals can cooperate when it improves their chances of staying alive. By staying together, raccoons reduce the energy needed to maintain body heat, which allows them to rest more safely and be ready for nightly foraging when conditions improve. Winter changes the way raccoons behave, but they do not truly hibernate like bears do. Instead, raccoons become less active and spend much more time resting inside dens. The colder weather makes it harder to find food, so moving around less helps them conserve energy. Raccoons often spend days or even weeks in a single den, leaving only occasionally to search for nearby food sources. Their body temperature and metabolism slow down slightly, but they remain alert and able to respond to danger. This period is sometimes called torpor, which is lighter than hibernation. Even in the middle of winter, raccoons may leave the den on a warmer day, or when food is available. This ability to adjust activity instead of fully hibernating shows their flexibility. By balancing rest with occasional exploration, raccoons survive cold months without needing to store massive fat reserves like true hibernators. Their winter behavior is a careful mix of energy conservation and opportunistic feeding. Raccoons are omnivores, which means they eat both plants and animals, giving them a wide range of food options. This diet helps them survive in forests, wetlands, and even cities, where some foods are easier to find than others. Raccoons will eat fruits, berries, nuts, seeds, and vegetables when plants are available. They will also hunt insects, small fish, frogs, birds' eggs, and even small mammals. The combination of plant and animal foods ensures that raccoons have nutrients from many sources. Being omnivores also helps them adjust when one type of food becomes scarce. Scientists often study raccoons to understand how flexible omnivores can adapt to different ecosystems. Their ability to switch between plant and animal food is an important survival skill. In urban areas, raccoons sometimes include human leftovers in their diet. Overall, being omnivores allows raccoons to thrive in places where specialized animals might struggle to find enough food to survive each day. One fascinating aspect of raccoon behavior is how they adjust their diet according to the season. During spring and summer, raccoons often rely on insects, frogs, small fish, and bird eggs, which are abundant at this time. Their front paws help them search shallow water, lift rocks, and explore vegetation to find these meals. In late summer and fall, fruits, nuts, and berries become more important because they are plentiful and help raccoons store energy for winter. In winter, when insects and fruits are scarce, raccoons focus more on meat from small animals or on whatever edible food they can find nearby. Urban raccoons often adjust differently, scavenging human trash or compost bins. This seasonal flexibility ensures raccoons get enough calories and nutrients throughout the year. Scientists find this behavior remarkable because it shows intelligence and awareness of their environment. By adjusting their diet, raccoons survive in forests, wetlands, and cities, no matter how conditions change. During spring and summer, insects become a very important part of a raccoon's diet. As the weather warms, insects like beetles, grasshoppers, caterpillars, and crickets become abundant, hiding in leaves, grass, and under rocks. These small creatures are packed with protein, which raccoons need to grow strong and maintain energy for nightly activities. Raccoons use their extremely sensitive front paws to search carefully through soil, water, and vegetation, feeling for the movement of insects. Because insects are small and fast, raccoons must be patient and precise when capturing them. This hunting requires both intelligence and dexterity, as missing a quick insect is easy. Insects also become a reliable food source because they appear in large numbers during these warm months. By taking advantage of this seasonal abundance, raccoons can maintain their strength, feed their young, and store energy for times when other foods may be harder to find. It is a simple yet highly effective survival strategy. Raccoons are also skilled at catching crayfish in shallow water, which is one of their favorite sources of protein. They wade carefully into streams, ponds, or river edges, feeling the water with their sensitive front paws. Crayfish often hide under rocks or burrow in mud, so raccoons must move slowly and gently to avoid scaring them away. Once they detect movement, raccoons grab the crayfish quickly and lift it out of the water. Scientists have observed raccoons using a combination of touch, sight, and timing to catch these small creatures. In urban areas, raccoons may even search drainage ditches or garden ponds for crayfish. Their ability to find and catch these animals demonstrates intelligence and adaptability. It also shows how raccoons use their natural skills to survive in a variety of environments. Crayfish hunting is not easy, but raccoons manage it consistently, which is why they thrive near water sources where these creatures are available. Hunting frogs and small fish is another nighttime activity that raccoons perform with surprising skill. As darkness falls, raccoons move quietly along riverbanks, ponds, and streams, scanning for movement in the shallow water. Frogs often sit on rocks or leaves, and small fish swim close to the surface, making them detectable to a patient raccoon. Using their front paws, raccoons slowly feel the water, testing for ripples and vibrations. When they locate a frog or fish, they strike quickly, scooping the animal out of the water with precise timing. This hunting method requires patience, careful observation, and excellent paw coordination. Frogs and fish are nutritious, providing protein and energy that help raccoons remain active through long nights of foraging. Observing raccoons hunt in this way shows how they combine intelligence, sensitive touch, and adaptability. Each successful capture is a result of their refined skills and natural instincts, which continue to fascinate scientists studying animal behavior. Raccoons are also skilled at searching for bird eggs in nests, which is another important food source in spring and early summer. They climb carefully through trees or shrubs, feeling branches and leaves with their sensitive paws. Raccoons use their sharp eyesight to spot hidden nests and their touch to investigate each one gently. Once they find eggs, they lift or roll them carefully to carry them away. This process requires precision and caution because many birds remain nearby to protect their nests. Raccoons are patient hunters, sometimes observing nests for several minutes before making a move. Eggs provide a high-protein, easily digestible food that supports both adult raccoons and their growing young. Scientists note that this behavior demonstrates problem-solving skills because raccoons must locate, access, and transport the eggs safely. Their ability to combine climbing, touch, and patience highlights the intelligence that makes raccoons successful in both forests and urban environments. Finding eggs is just one example of their clever nighttime strategies. In late summer, fruits and berries become a very important part of a raccoon's diet. As the warmer months progress, many plants produce ripe berries, apples, grapes, and other fruits that are easy to find and full of nutrients. These foods are high in sugar and calories, which help raccoons store energy for the colder months ahead. Raccoons often climb trees or bushes carefully, feeling the branches and leaves with their sensitive paws to pick ripe fruits. They may carry the fruit to a safe spot before eating, or eat it immediately on the branch. Fruits are also easier to handle compared to insects or small animals, making them ideal for young raccoons learning to forage. By relying on seasonal fruits, raccoons can maintain energy without expending too much effort. This seasonal shift shows how flexible and intelligent raccoons are. They change their eating habits based on availability, ensuring they get the best possible nutrition as the year progresses. Raccoons not only eat fruits and berries, but they also play an important role in spreading plant seeds. When a raccoon eats a berry or fruit, it swallows the seeds along with the flesh. Later, the seeds pass through the raccoon's digestive system and are deposited in a new location, often far from the parent plant. This process helps plants spread and grow in different areas, which benefits the ecosystem. Scientists consider raccoons to be natural gardeners in this sense, because their foraging habits unintentionally support plant growth. Even in urban areas, raccoons eating fruit from gardens, compost piles, or orchards can help move seeds into yards, parks, and empty lots. Their habit of exploring widely while searching for food increases the chances that seeds are distributed over a larger area. In this way, raccoons contribute to the natural cycle of plants and animals, linking their clever foraging behavior to the health of their environment. They are small but important helpers in nature's system. Raccoons have become well known for exploring human trash bins, and there is a simple reason for this behavior. In urban areas, trash bins often contain food that is easy to find and requires very little effort to access. Raccoons are intelligent and curious, so when they notice containers that might hold something edible, they investigate carefully. Using their strong, flexible front paws, raccoons can lift lids, open bags, and reach into tight spaces. This makes trash bins especially attractive compared to foraging in natural environments, where food may be hidden, scarce, or require more energy to catch. People often notice raccoons at night, quietly opening lids or knocking over containers. While some humans see this behavior as a nuisance, it demonstrates raccoons' problem-solving skills and adaptability. They recognize patterns, learn which bins are most likely to contain food, and return to them repeatedly. Exploring trash is not just opportunistic. It is an intelligent strategy for survival in an environment shaped by humans. Urban environments provide raccoons with easy food opportunities that are not usually found in the wild. Cities, suburbs, and neighborhoods contain many sources of leftover food, from garbage cans and compost bins to pet dishes and outdoor grills. Raccoons are highly observant, so they quickly notice patterns in human activity, such as when trash is put out or when gardens are full of ripe fruits. In addition, humans often create shelter opportunities like attics, roof spaces, or abandoned buildings, which raccoons can use as dens. The combination of abundant food and safe resting spots makes urban areas very attractive. Even though cities can be dangerous with cars and people around, Raccoons adjust their behavior to reduce risk, moving mostly at night. These environments allow raccoons to survive with less energy spent hunting and more calories consumed easily. Urban areas highlight their adaptability, curiosity, and problem-solving skills, showing that raccoons can thrive wherever food and shelter are available. They take advantage of human changes without losing their natural instincts. Raccoons have shown an impressive ability to adapt to urban environments where conditions are very different from the wild. Cities are full of challenges, such as busy roads, human activity, and limited natural food sources. Yet raccoons have learned to navigate these obstacles carefully, moving mostly at night when the streets are quieter. They observe human patterns, figuring out when trash cans are put out or when pet food is left outside. Their intelligence allows them to solve problems, like opening containers, climbing fences, and entering small spaces to access food. Even in areas with few trees, raccoons can find alternative routes using rooftops, walls, and other structures. Over time, they have become experts at blending into city life without drawing too much attention. This adaptability ensures that raccoons can survive and thrive even in places that would seem hostile to other wildlife. Their success in cities is a clear example of how intelligence and curiosity can shape survival. Cities also provide raccoons with unique shelter options that are not available in the wild. Attics, chimneys, and abandoned buildings offer safe, hidden spaces where raccoons can rest during the day. These urban dens protect raccoons from predators and extreme weather, just like hollow trees or natural burrows in forests. Some raccoons even find spaces under decks, inside garden sheds, or between wall cavities. The flexibility of their climbing and problem-solving skills allows them to reach these locations easily. By selecting urban dens carefully, raccoons can remain undisturbed while still being close to food sources. Mother raccoons may also use these shelters to raise their young, taking advantage of warmth and security. Scientists have observed that raccoons are highly selective, preferring spots that combine safety, comfort, and proximity to feeding areas. Urban environments provide a surprising mix of challenges and opportunities, and raccoons have learned to use buildings as a resource just as effectively as trees or burrows in the wild. Raccoons living in cities often grow larger than those in rural areas, and there is a clear reason for this difference. Urban areas provide an abundance of high-calorie food that is easier to access than the foods found in forests or wetlands. Trash bins, compost piles, pet food, and garden fruits supply raccoons with more consistent meals. Because they spend less energy hunting or traveling long distances, urban raccoons can convert more calories into body mass. Additionally, cities often have fewer natural predators, allowing raccoons to survive longer and grow larger. Scientists studying urban wildlife have found that city raccoons can weigh more and appear healthier than their rural counterparts. Their larger size also helps them survive cold winters and compete successfully for resources. This example shows how human environments, despite being artificial, can influence the physical development of wildlife. Raccoons' ability to take advantage of these urban resources demonstrates their intelligence, adaptability, and resilience in the face of change. To survive in cities, raccoons must adjust their behavior to match human schedules. Unlike rural areas, urban spaces are often busy during the day, with cars, people, and noise making movement dangerous. Raccoons respond by becoming more strictly nocturnal, leaving their dens only after nightfall. They move carefully and quietly, avoiding streets, sidewalks, and heavily trafficked areas. At the same time, they learn when food is most likely to be available, such as after residents take out their trash or during quiet nighttime hours in parks. Raccoons also observe human activity patterns, learning which areas are safe and which should be avoided. By adjusting their timing, raccoons reduce risk while maximizing access to easy food sources. Their intelligence allows them to remember successful routes, feeding spots, and safe resting places. This careful synchronization with human schedules is a clear example of how raccoons combine observation, memory, and problem-solving skills to thrive in environments shaped by humans. After night falls and people go to sleep, raccoons begin their careful exploration of neighborhoods. Streets, yards, and alleys become quiet, allowing raccoons to move safely without drawing attention. They step lightly, using fences, rooftops, and bushes to stay hidden while searching for food. Their sensitive paws help them examine objects along the way, testing containers, trash bins, or small patches of vegetation for something edible. Raccoons are cautious and deliberate, rarely rushing, which reduces the risk of encountering humans or predators. They often pause to listen for sounds, smell the air for signs of danger, and adjust their path if necessary. This nightly exploration is a combination of curiosity, survival instinct, and intelligence. By moving quietly through human environments, raccoons can find food, water, and shelter while avoiding unnecessary risks. Observing a raccoon at night shows how carefully these animals plan each movement, balancing the need for food with the need for safety, which is key to their success in urban areas. Raccoons are also experts at memorizing safe travel routes through urban spaces. As they move across rooftops, fences, and trees, they learn which paths are stable and which may be risky. Their memory allows them to return to these paths confidently, even after several nights. When crossing yards or moving between buildings, raccoons use the same routes repeatedly, avoiding areas where humans, pets, or obstacles might pose danger. They also remember hidden footholds, gaps in fences, and stable branches that help them travel efficiently. Scientists studying raccoon behavior have observed that they rarely take unnecessary risks once a safe path has been learned. This memory not only ensures safety, but also saves energy, as the raccoon does not need to test each new route repeatedly. Urban raccoons show remarkable spatial awareness, remembering complex paths through human environments while staying largely unseen. Their ability to memorize routes demonstrates both intelligence and adaptability in navigating unfamiliar or challenging spaces. In addition to safe travel routes, raccoons can recognize specific locations where food is often found. Whether it is a trash bin left at the curb, a compost pile, or a garden full of ripe fruits, raccoons remember the exact spots that provide reliable meals. They use their sharp senses, observing smells, sounds, and visual cues to identify these locations. Once a promising food source is discovered, raccoons often return, even after days or weeks, because they have stored the location in their memory. This behavior shows advanced cognitive skills, as raccoons link a specific place with a positive outcome, similar to humans remembering where they left something valuable. Urban raccoons, in particular, take advantage of predictable patterns in human activity, learning which bins are most likely to be full and when it is safest to approach them. Recognizing food locations ensures consistent access to energy and nutrients, which is crucial for survival, especially in busy urban environments where competition and risk are high. Because raccoons can remember food locations so well, they often return to the same spot repeatedly. Once they discover a reliable source of food, such as a trash bin or a fruit tree, they may revisit it night after night. This behavior is not random. It is based on careful observation and memory. Raccoons learn when the food is most likely to be available, such as after humans place garbage at the curb or when a fruit tree ripens. Returning to known food sources reduces the need for risky exploration and saves energy. Even if the supply is not guaranteed, raccoons trust their experience, checking familiar spots first before searching new areas. Scientists note that this repeated behavior highlights both intelligence and adaptability. It also explains why raccoons are so successful in urban areas. By revisiting known food locations, raccoons balance safety, efficiency, and survival, making them masters of their nighttime world. Raccoons are masters at using hidden pathways to move safely through both urban and natural environments. Storm drains, sewers, and underground tunnels allow them to travel quietly and avoid open streets where humans, cars, or other predators might be present. Above ground, they use trees, fences, and rooftops as secret highways, moving from one area to another without being easily seen. These routes often follow patterns that raccoons have learned over time, connecting food sources, dens, and resting places. Their sensitive paws help them test surfaces and find stable footholds, while their intelligence allows them to remember which paths are safest. By combining underground passages with elevated routes, raccoons can cover large areas with minimal risk. Even in busy neighborhoods, they can move from one yard to another, from parks to streets, without drawing attention. This ability to create and use hidden pathways shows how raccoons combine curiosity, problem-solving, and careful observation to survive in environments full of potential dangers and obstacles. Intelligence is one of the raccoons' most powerful tools for survival, helping them avoid many dangers in both wild and urban areas. Raccoons face threats such as predators, humans, cars, and other animals, but their problem-solving skills and memory allow them to respond carefully. They learn to recognize signs of danger, such as loud noises, moving vehicles, or unfamiliar smells, and adjust their behavior to stay safe. Nighttime activity also helps reduce risk because most threats are less active after dark. Their sensitive paws and sharp senses allow them to examine their environment thoroughly before taking action. For example, when approaching a trash bin, a raccoon may test it slowly, checking for humans or other animals nearby. Over time, raccoons remember which areas are safest and which are risky. Their intelligence also extends to navigating complex spaces, climbing obstacles, and even predicting human patterns. This combination of observation, memory, and problem-solving makes raccoons highly adaptable survivors, capable of thriving in environments that would challenge many other animals. Raccoon mating season usually begins in late winter or early spring, depending on the climate of their habitat. During this time, adult raccoons become more active and begin searching for mates. Male raccoons travel longer distances than usual, exploring new areas and marking their territory with scents to attract females. Females, in turn, may visit multiple males before selecting a partner. This seasonal behavior is driven by both instinct and environmental conditions, such as temperature and food availability. Timing is important because it ensures that offspring are born during spring or early summer, when food is abundant and weather conditions are milder. Mating season is also a period of increased movement and exploration, which sometimes brings raccoons into closer contact with humans. Scientists studying raccoon populations observe patterns of activity during this season, noting how males and females interact and navigate their environment. The careful timing of mating ensures that newborns have the best chance of survival in the months that follow. Female raccoons spend considerable effort preparing safe dens for their babies before giving birth. They search for locations that are well hidden, protected from predators, and insulated from weather conditions. Hollow trees, abandoned burrows, roof spaces, or dense shrubs are often chosen. Once a site is selected, the female may line it with leaves, moss, or other soft materials to create a comfortable and warm nest. The preparation ensures that the newborn raccoons, which are blind and helpless at birth, have a safe environment to grow and develop. Females may spend days or weeks reinforcing the den, inspecting entrances, and ensuring it is secure. This careful preparation also allows her to focus on feeding and caring for the babies without frequent interruptions. In urban areas, female raccoons adapt by using attics, chimneys, or abandoned buildings as dens. The selection and preparation of a safe den highlight the mother's intelligence, foresight, and instinct to protect her offspring, which is critical for the survival of the next generation. Raccoons usually give birth to 2 to 5 kits at a time, though the exact number can vary depending on the mother's age, health, and food availability. These small litters allow the mother to focus on caring for each baby, providing warmth, protection, and food during the first critical weeks of life. Litter size also influences how the kits interact, play, and learn from each other as they grow. In forests or urban environments, having a moderate number of babies ensures that the mother can manage feeding and safety without becoming overwhelmed. Scientists studying raccoons have found that larger litters are less common because each additional kit requires more energy and care. In urban areas, where food may be more abundant, mothers can sometimes support larger litters. Understanding litter size helps explain how raccoons balance reproduction with survival. Each kit is unique, and the mother carefully tends to all of them, ensuring they develop the skills needed to explore, climb, and find food as they grow. When raccoon kits are first born, they are blind, deaf, and completely helpless. They cannot move far on their own and rely entirely on their mother for warmth and feeding. At birth, the kits are covered with soft, thin fur, but their eyes remain tightly closed for several weeks. During this time, the mother stays nearby, often in the hollow tree, burrow, or attic that she prepared as a den. She nurses the babies regularly, keeping them warm and safe from predators or harsh weather. The helpless state of newborn raccoons means that survival depends almost entirely on the mother's care, patience, and attentiveness. Despite being small and fragile, the kits grow rapidly when provided with sufficient nutrition. Their initial vulnerability highlights the importance of a secure den and careful maternal behavior. Observing this stage of development shows how raccoons rely on instinct, intelligence, and parental care to ensure the next generation survives in a world full of challenges. After a few weeks, raccoon kits' eyes slowly begin to open, marking an important step in their development. As vision improves, they start to explore their surroundings within the safety of the den. Initially, their eyesight is weak, and they rely heavily on touch, smell, and hearing to interact with each other and the mother. Over the following weeks, their vision sharpens, allowing them to see shapes, movements, and nearby objects more clearly. This gradual opening of the eyes coincides with increased curiosity and play, which helps develop climbing, grasping, and problem-solving skills. The mother often encourages exploration while keeping a watchful eye, ensuring the kits do not leave the den prematurely. Opening their eyes is a milestone that signals the beginning of independence, yet they remain completely dependent on the mother for food and protection. By carefully observing, touching, and interacting, the kits gain the skills they will need for survival, demonstrating how gradual development prepares raccoons for life outside the den. Mother raccoons are extremely protective of their young, constantly watching for potential threats. While in the den, she keeps the babies warm, nourished, and safe from predators or dangers such as other raccoons or humans. Outside the den, she may lead them quietly to explore nearby areas, always ready to defend them if needed. Protective behavior also includes teaching skills for survival, such as climbing, finding food, and recognizing safe paths. Scientists studying raccoon families observe that mothers are highly alert, often pausing to check for signs of danger, and making quick decisions to hide or relocate the litter if necessary. Even when human activity is present, the mother raccoon adjusts her movements to avoid detection, showing intelligence and foresight. Her protective instincts are critical because the young kits are vulnerable, blind, and unable to survive without her care. Through this combination of vigilance, teaching, and care, the mother ensures that her offspring develop the skills and confidence needed to grow into independent, adaptable raccoons. Raccoon mothers play an essential role in teaching their young survival skills, guiding them step by step through each stage of growth. From the moment the kits start opening their eyes, the mother carefully introduces them to climbing, exploring, and handling small objects. She demonstrates how to use their sensitive paws to search for food in water, soil, and vegetation. The lessons are gradual, allowing the kits to gain confidence while minimizing risk. Mothers also show how to recognize safe paths, avoid predators, and find hidden food sources. Each day brings small challenges, like climbing higher branches or identifying edible plants, that help the young develop strength, coordination, and intelligence. Through observation and gentle guidance, the kits learn by doing, often imitating the mother's actions. This step-by-step teaching ensures that by the time the young raccoons leave the den, they are prepared for independence. The mother's careful instruction demonstrates not only her intelligence, but also the importance of hands-on learning in the raccoon's life. One of the first major skills young raccoons learn is climbing, which is essential for survival in both forests and urban areas. The mother begins by encouraging them to grasp low branches or tree trunks, using their strong, flexible paws to hold on. Initially, they climb only short distances, gaining confidence and testing their balance. Over time, the kits climb higher and experiment with different angles, learning how to rotate their hind feet and use claws effectively. The mother closely watches, correcting mistakes by demonstrating proper technique or leading by example. This early climbing practice teaches coordination, spatial awareness, and risk assessment. Climbing also becomes a form of play, where the young raccoons challenge each other, strengthen muscles, and prepare for more advanced movement. By the time they are ready to explore beyond the den, their climbing skills are well developed. Learning to climb early ensures they can escape danger, access food, and navigate complex environments successfully, forming a foundation for all other survival behaviors. Play is an essential part of how young raccoons develop coordination and problem-solving skills. Siblings often wrestle, chase, and explore together within the safety of the den or nearby trees. These playful interactions allow them to practice climbing, jumping, and balancing, while learning how to control their bodies. They also experiment with using their front paws to touch, grab, and manipulate objects, refining their sense of touch and dexterity. Through play, raccoons learn social skills, like taking turns, recognizing signals from others, and cooperating when necessary. Even seemingly simple games, such as rolling objects or tugging on leaves, contribute to motor development and intelligence. The mother sometimes joins in indirectly, encouraging safe exploration while remaining vigilant. These playful experiences are critical because they prepare young raccoons for real-life challenges, such as finding food, avoiding predators, and navigating complex environments. By practicing coordination and problem-solving through play, the kits gain confidence, skill, and resilience, which help ensure their survival as they mature. Young raccoons typically stay with their mother for almost a year, gradually gaining independence while still benefiting from her guidance. During this time, the mother continues to teach essential skills, including climbing, foraging, and identifying safe hiding spots. The kits begin to explore further from the den, testing their abilities while remaining within the mother's watchful range. As they grow stronger and more confident, they experiment with new environments and food sources, often returning to the mother for support or protection when needed. The extended period together ensures that the young raccoons are fully prepared for survival before leaving to establish their own territories. Staying close to the mother also provides social learning opportunities, allowing the kits to interact with siblings, practice communication, and develop problem-solving skills. After nearly a year, the young raccoons are capable of finding food, avoiding dangers, and navigating both urban and wild habitats independently. This long period of care and teaching highlights the mother's critical role in raising intelligent, adaptable, and resilient offspring. Raccoons communicate in ways that might surprise many people, using a wide range of sounds to express different emotions, intentions, and warnings. Their vocalizations include growls, hisses, chittering, purrs, whistles, and chirps, each serving a specific purpose depending on the situation. Communication is especially important because raccoons are mostly nocturnal, so visual signals are less effective at night. Through sounds, raccoons can warn others of danger, indicate aggression, call for attention, or signal comfort. Scientists have studied raccoon vocal patterns and discovered that even subtle changes in pitch or volume can carry meaning. Sounds are combined with body language, like tail movements, ear positions, and posture, creating a rich communication system. In social groups or families, these vocalizations help maintain relationships and coordinate activities. The ability to produce and interpret different sounds demonstrates intelligence, social awareness, and adaptability. For raccoons, vocal communication is an essential survival tool, allowing them to navigate complex environments while staying connected with family members, mates, and even other raccoons in the area. Soft purring sounds are a common way raccoons express comfort and safety, especially when they are resting or with family members. When a raccoon feels secure in its den or near trusted companions, it may emit a low, continuous purr. This sound is soothing and indicates contentment, similar to a domestic cat's purring. Purring helps reinforce social bonds, as kits respond to their mother's gentle noises by relaxing or snuggling closer. Even adult raccoons use purring to communicate calmness to other raccoons, reducing tension in shared spaces. Scientists observing raccoons note that purring often occurs during feeding, grooming, or when kits are nestled in the den. These soft sounds are not loud enough to attract predators, making them a safe form of private communication. By using purring, raccoons signal trust and security, strengthening family relationships while minimizing risks. This subtle vocalization shows how raccoons combine sound, touch, and observation to maintain social harmony and convey emotions effectively. Chirps and whistles are another way raccoons communicate, especially between mothers and their young. These higher-pitched sounds help maintain contact, alerting kits to the mother's location or signaling that it is time to follow or pay attention. Kits respond to these calls, often moving toward the sound to stay close or avoid getting lost. Chirps and whistles are also used to express mild alarm, excitement, or curiosity, allowing raccoons to share information without physical contact. Scientists have observed that each mother may have slightly different patterns or pitches, which kits learn to recognize over time. These sounds are particularly useful in dense forests, urban areas, or low-light conditions, where visibility is limited. By using auditory signals, raccoons can coordinate movement, teach skills, and ensure safety during exploration. The combination of chirps, whistles, and body language creates a flexible communication system that strengthens family bonds. Through these sounds, mothers guide, protect, and connect with their young, supporting their development and survival. Raccoons are capable of producing more than 50 different vocal sounds, highlighting their sophisticated communication abilities. Each sound carries specific meaning, from warning signals to social bonding cues. Some sounds indicate aggression or territorial behavior, while others express comfort, curiosity, or hunger. The variety of vocalizations allows raccoons to navigate complex social interactions with family members, other raccoons, and potential threats. Researchers studying raccoons have cataloged numerous noises, noting subtle differences in pitch, duration, and tone that convey distinct messages. Combined with body movements, such as tail flicks, ear positions, and facial expressions, these sounds form a rich language that guides behavior and ensures survival. Even in urban environments, where raccoons encounter humans, pets, and other challenges, this communication helps them coordinate, avoid danger, and find food efficiently. The ability to produce so many sounds reflects intelligence, adaptability, and social awareness. For raccoons, mastering vocal communication is as important as climbing, foraging, or using their sensitive paws, showing how every skill contributes to thriving in varied environments. Body language plays a very important role in how raccoons communicate and interact with others. Because raccoons are mostly active at night, relying only on sounds may not always be enough, so visual signals become essential. Movements of the head, ears, paws, and body convey emotions like curiosity, fear, aggression, or relaxation. For example, a raccoon may lower its body close to the ground to show submission, or raise its head and ears to signal alertness. Even small gestures like shifting weight or tilting the head provide information to other raccoons about intent and mood. Body language also works together with vocalizations, such as purring or chirping, creating a complete communication system. Scientists observing raccoons in forests and urban areas have noted how subtle movements can prevent conflicts, strengthen social bonds, and guide young raccoons in learning survival skills. By combining body language with sound, raccoons create a flexible and effective way to communicate, ensuring they can adapt to changing environments safely and efficiently. The position and movement of a raccoon's tail can reveal a lot about its mood, alertness, and intentions. When a raccoon is relaxed or resting, the tail may hang loosely or wrap around the body, signaling calmness and comfort. During moments of alertness or curiosity, the tail may rise slightly, flick, or bristle, showing that the raccoon is paying attention to its surroundings. Aggression or warning signals can also be displayed through tail movements, such as puffing the tail to appear larger when threatened. Mothers may use subtle tail movements to guide their young or indicate that they should follow or stop. Even in urban settings, where danger from humans or pets may exist, tail signals help raccoons communicate without exposing themselves. Observing these movements allows other raccoons to respond appropriately, maintaining social order and safety. Tail language is a natural, silent communication tool that complements vocal sounds and body gestures, enhancing survival in every environment. When raccoons feel threatened or want to warn others, they sometimes stamp their feet on the ground. This behavior produces a loud, rhythmic sound that can startle predators, alert nearby raccoons, or serve as a warning to stay away. Stamping is often accompanied by vocalizations, raised fur, and aggressive posturing, creating a multi-sensory signal of danger. This behavior is especially useful at night when visual signals may be limited, as the sound carries through the environment and attracts attention. Young raccoons also learn stamping from observing their mother, understanding that it is a non-contact way to defend themselves or communicate urgency. In urban areas, stamping may occur when a raccoon encounters a dog, cat, or human unexpectedly, serving as an early warning or deterrent. By using their paws in this way, raccoons combine intelligence, observation, and instinct to protect themselves. Foot stamping is a simple yet effective survival strategy that demonstrates how raccoons communicate threats without direct confrontation. Scent markings are another essential way raccoons communicate, especially for defining territory and signaling presence to other raccoons. Raccoons have scent glands located near their tails, on their paws, and around their bodies, which they use to mark trees, rocks, fences, or other surfaces. These scent marks provide information about the raccoon's identity, sex, reproductive status, and territorial boundaries. By leaving a smell in strategic locations, raccoons can warn others to keep away, reducing the risk of conflicts or fights. Scent marking is especially important in urban areas, where resources like food, water, and shelter are limited and competition can be high. Both males and females use scent to communicate, and kits may learn to recognize the markings as part of understanding boundaries. Scientists studying raccoon behavior note that scent is a long-lasting, reliable form of communication, allowing raccoons to maintain social order and navigate territories effectively. Through scent marking, raccoons combine intelligence, observation, and natural instincts to survive and thrive. Scent glands are a powerful communication tool for raccoons, allowing them to send messages over distance and time. These glands are located near the tail, on the paws, and around certain body areas, producing chemical signals that convey important information. When a raccoon rubs, scratches, or presses its body against a surface, it leaves behind a scent that other raccoons can detect. This scent can indicate the individual's identity, sex, reproductive status, and even age or health. Other raccoons sniff these markings to learn about the presence of neighbors, potential mates, or rivals. Scent communication is especially useful at night, when visual cues are limited, and in dense forests or urban areas where obstacles might block sight or sound. By using scent glands, raccoons can coordinate social interactions, maintain territory boundaries, and convey complex information silently. This system demonstrates how intelligence and instinct work together, helping raccoons navigate their environment while reducing risk and supporting survival. These scent signals play an important role in helping raccoons avoid unnecessary conflicts. When a raccoon detects the scent of another individual in an area, it can decide whether to approach, retreat, or stay at a safe distance. This reduces the likelihood of aggressive encounters, which could result in injury or wasted energy. Scent also helps raccoons locate mates without direct confrontation, allowing social and reproductive activities to occur safely. In urban areas, where multiple raccoons may share overlapping territories, scent markings help each animal know where it can safely forage or rest. Young raccoons learn to recognize and respect these signals from observing their mother and siblings, which teaches them social boundaries and appropriate behavior. Overall, scent communication provides a subtle but effective system for managing interactions, maintaining social harmony, and supporting survival. It is a remarkable example of how raccoons combine chemical signals, memory, and intelligence to thrive. Raccoons are known for their excellent night vision, which is essential for their mostly nocturnal lifestyle. Operating in low-light conditions, they rely on their eyesight to locate food, avoid predators, and navigate complex environments. While raccoons also use their highly sensitive paws and sense of smell, vision remains a critical tool for detecting movement and identifying objects in darkness. Their eyes are specially adapted to gather more light than human eyes, allowing them to see shapes, contrasts, and subtle details at night. This ability supports hunting for insects, frogs, fish, and other prey during nighttime hours, while also helping them move safely through trees, rooftops, and urban spaces. Night vision gives raccoons a significant survival advantage, allowing them to exploit resources that may be unavailable to other animals. Combined with other senses, this adaptation ensures they can explore, forage, and interact efficiently after sunset, demonstrating how evolution equips raccoons for life in a mostly dark world. The reflective layer in a raccoon's eyes, called the tapetum lucidum, is a key feature that enhances night vision. This layer sits behind the retina and reflects light back through the photoreceptor cells, increasing sensitivity to low-light conditions. As a result, raccoons can see better at night, detecting movement and shapes even with very little ambient light. This adaptation is why their eyes often appear to glow when illuminated by a flashlight or car headlights. The tapetum lucidum allows raccoons to navigate safely through forests, urban streets, and rooftops after dark. It also supports hunting and foraging, enabling them to locate insects, small animals, fruits, and water sources efficiently. Combined with their mask-like facial markings, which reduce glare, raccoons' night vision is finely tuned for nocturnal activity. This reflective layer is a remarkable evolutionary adaptation, giving raccoons the ability to explore, forage, and avoid dangers when most other animals are less active. Raccoons have extremely sensitive hearing, which is essential for survival, especially during nighttime activity. Their ears can detect small sounds, such as the rustle of leaves, the movement of insects, or the footsteps of predators. This acute hearing allows raccoons to monitor their surroundings carefully without exposing themselves to danger. Even faint noises from a distance can alert them to the presence of prey, other raccoons, or humans. Young raccoons learn to respond to sounds by observing their mother, recognizing warning signals, and distinguishing between safe and risky noises. In dense forests or urban areas, where visibility may be limited, hearing becomes as important as sight and touch. Raccoons can combine auditory information with other senses to make quick decisions about movement, foraging, or hiding. Their ability to detect subtle sounds enhances safety, efficiency, and problem-solving during exploration. This heightened sense of hearing is one of the reasons raccoons are such successful nocturnal foragers, able to locate food and avoid threats even in challenging environments. Raccoons are surprisingly strong swimmers, a skill that helps them access food and travel safely in their habitats. They can move through water using a dog paddle motion, keeping their heads above the surface while propelling their bodies efficiently. Swimming allows raccoons to cross streams, rivers, or ponds without exposing themselves to predators on land. It also expands the areas they can explore for food, including fish, frogs, crayfish, and aquatic plants. Even young raccoons practice swimming in shallow water, often under the watchful eye of their mother. Urban raccoons may use canals, drainage ditches, or fountains to practice these movements. Swimming is not only a survival skill, but also a way to access unique food sources that other land animals cannot reach. Raccoons' agility in water demonstrates their adaptability, intelligence, and coordination. By combining swimming with climbing, nocturnal vision, and keen hearing, raccoons maximize their ability to explore and exploit diverse environments for food and safety. Raccoons sometimes enter water specifically to search for food, taking advantage of their strong swimming ability and sensitive paws. They use their front paws to feel for prey like crayfish, small fish, or amphibians in shallow streams and ponds. Water also enhances tactile exploration, allowing raccoons to sense objects more effectively than on land. They may dip their paws repeatedly, testing movement, texture, and resistance to locate edible items hidden under rocks, plants, or mud. This methodical searching demonstrates intelligence and patience, as raccoons carefully examine the water instead of rushing. The behavior is not only practical but also energy efficient, as aquatic prey provides high nutritional value. By entering water, raccoons expand their diet and reduce competition with strictly land-based animals. Observing this behavior reveals how raccoons combine multiple senses, sight, touch, hearing, and smell, to gather food. Water foraging is an example of adaptability in both natural and urban environments, showing that raccoons can use their intelligence and physical abilities to exploit a variety of resources. Raccoons are equipped with thick, dense fur that provides essential insulation, keeping them warm in cold climates. Their fur traps air close to the body, reducing heat loss and protecting them from chilly winds, rain, or snow. Even in winter, raccoons remain active, relying on their fur to maintain body temperature while foraging or moving between dens. This natural insulation is complemented by behaviors such as curling up, nesting in hollow trees, or sharing dens with other raccoons to conserve heat. In urban areas, fur also protects against wet conditions, allowing raccoons to navigate storm drains, streams, or puddles comfortably. Young raccoons are born with softer fur that thickens as they grow, preparing them for colder months. The combination of physical adaptations and behavioral strategies ensures that raccoons can survive harsh winters without hibernating. Their thick fur is an essential part of their survival toolkit, allowing them to remain active, search for food, and explore their environment safely in a wide range of temperatures. Before winter arrives, raccoons naturally store body fat to help them survive periods when food is scarce or cold weather makes foraging more difficult. As autumn approaches, they increase their food intake, eating more fruits, nuts, insects, and small animals, gradually building fat reserves beneath their skin. This extra layer not only provides energy, but also acts as insulation against cold temperatures. The stored fat allows raccoons to reduce activity during the coldest nights, conserving energy while still having enough reserves to sustain themselves. Mothers with young rely on fat reserves to stay nourished while caring for kits, ensuring both survival and proper growth. Urban raccoons also take advantage of consistent food sources like garbage or bird feeders to increase body fat before winter. This natural preparation demonstrates how raccoons combine instinct, intelligence, and environmental awareness to adapt to seasonal changes. Fat storage is a critical survival strategy, allowing raccoons to remain active and healthy when winter conditions limit access to food. Raccoons are capable of traveling several kilometers in a single night while searching for food, mates, or new territory. Their nightly journeys are deliberate and carefully planned, allowing them to explore wide areas efficiently. Even urban raccoons can cross multiple neighborhoods, using fences, rooftops, trees, and storm drains to move safely while minimizing exposure to danger. These long travels are often guided by memory, sensory input, and experience, enabling raccoons to find food, water, and shelter in unfamiliar or challenging environments. Traveling over such distances requires endurance, coordination, and problem-solving skills, especially when navigating obstacles, roads, or other urban hazards. Scientists observing raccoon behavior note that these nightly explorations help them maintain social connections, avoid competition, and locate reliable resources. By covering several kilometers each night, raccoons expand their access to food and mates while improving their knowledge of the environment. These extensive movements highlight adaptability, intelligence, and physical ability, showing why raccoons thrive in diverse habitats, from forests to bustling cities. Memory is a crucial tool that helps raccoons navigate complex routes and environments. As they explore forests, urban areas, or riversides, raccoons remember paths, obstacles, food sources, and safe resting spots. Their ability to recall these details allows them to move efficiently, avoid danger, and return to specific locations repeatedly. Even when routes are complicated, involving rooftops, trees, fences, or storm drains, raccoons can remember sequences of steps needed to reach destinations safely. Memory also helps raccoons adapt to seasonal changes, such as knowing where to find food in summer versus winter. Young raccoons learn memory skills by observing their mother, practicing navigation, and exploring under supervision. In urban areas, memory allows raccoons to track human activity patterns, understanding when it is safe to approach trash bins or cross streets. This mental mapping, combined with intelligence and keen senses, ensures raccoons can navigate their environments with minimal risk, demonstrating how memory is essential for survival and effective resource management. Raccoons constantly create mental maps of their environment, building an internal representation of landmarks, food sources, water, and safe resting places. They remember the locations of trees, fences, rooftops, storm drains, and human structures, connecting them into a mental network that guides nightly movements. This mapping allows raccoons to explore new areas, return to familiar spots, and navigate obstacles efficiently. They also track the availability of seasonal foods, identifying when and where specific resources can be found. Mental mapping helps raccoons remember which paths are safest, which locations are risky, and how to combine climbing, swimming, and walking routes effectively. Observing raccoons shows that this process is continuous. Each night adds new information, reinforces old knowledge, and adjusts for changes in the environment. Young raccoons learn to build mental maps by following their mother, exploring safely, and practicing problem-solving skills. This ability to mentally map space, combined with memory and sensory input, allows raccoons to thrive in both natural and urban landscapes, mastering complex environments with remarkable intelligence and adaptability. Raccoons were introduced to parts of Europe and Japan in the 20th century, primarily through human activity. In some cases, they were brought intentionally as exotic pets, while in others, raccoons escaped captivity and established wild populations. These new environments were very different from their native North American forests, rivers, and wetlands, presenting unique challenges such as unfamiliar predators, climates, and food sources. Despite these obstacles, raccoons began to explore, forage, and reproduce, slowly establishing themselves in the wild. Their ability to adapt to human-altered landscapes, including cities, farmland, and suburban areas, allowed them to survive and even thrive. Researchers studying these introduced populations noticed that raccoons quickly learned to exploit new food sources, find shelter in buildings or hollow trees, and navigate complex environments. The process of introduction demonstrates the species' remarkable resilience, intelligence, and flexibility. Within a few decades, raccoons had expanded their presence beyond North America, showing how quickly an adaptable, nocturnal mammal can colonize new territories while maintaining survival strategies in unfamiliar ecosystems. Once introduced to new areas, raccoons adapted quickly to the unfamiliar environments they encountered. They learned to navigate different landscapes, including urban centers, rural farmlands, and forested regions, using the same skills that make them successful in North America. Their problem-solving ability, sensitive paws, sharp night vision, and keen hearing allowed them to find food, water, and shelter efficiently, even when conditions were initially challenging. Raccoons quickly discovered human-provided resources, such as trash bins, gardens, and ponds, supplementing their natural diet of fruits, insects, and small animals. Observing introduced raccoons in Japan and Europe, scientists noted that they adjusted for seasonal changes, identified safe resting places, and avoided local predators. Young raccoons learned from mothers how to interact with the new environment, using trial and error to master unfamiliar obstacles. This rapid adaptation shows that raccoons are not only intelligent but also highly flexible, able to survive and reproduce successfully even far from their native habitats. Their resilience is a key factor in their global expansion. Today, raccoons are found in several countries outside North America, including parts of Europe, Japan, and Russia. Populations have been established in countries such as Germany, France, and the Czech Republic, where raccoons have spread across forests, farmland, and urban areas. In Japan, raccoons were introduced as exotic pets and have since become an invasive species, thriving in cities and rural environments alike. Scientists studying these populations have documented their behavior, reproduction, and adaptability, noting how they adjust to local food sources, weather patterns, and human activity. Raccoons' presence in multiple countries highlights their ability to survive outside their native range, colonizing new habitats quickly. Despite being non-native, they often maintain behaviors seen in North American raccoons, such as nocturnal activity, climbing, swimming, and complex foraging. Their success in these new regions shows how intelligence, adaptability, and flexible behavior allow raccoons to establish stable populations across continents, thriving in both natural and human-altered environments without losing their characteristic survival strategies. One of the main reasons raccoons survive so well in different parts of the world is their incredible adaptability to various climates. Whether in temperate forests, cold winters, wet environments, or urban areas with fluctuating temperatures, raccoons adjust behaviorally and physically to meet challenges. They use thick fur and fat storage to survive colder months, while in warmer climates they adjust activity times and rest in shaded areas to avoid overheating. Their omnivorous diet allows them to take advantage of whatever food is available, from insects, fruits, and small animals to human garbage or cultivated crops. Raccoons are also flexible in nesting, using hollow trees, burrows, chimneys, attics, or dense shrubs depending on availability. Their intelligence allows them to learn from experience, remember safe routes, and solve problems in new conditions. This combination of physical traits, behavioral flexibility, and problem-solving skills enables raccoons to thrive across diverse habitats and climates, making them one of the most adaptable mammals in the world. Raccoons face a variety of predators in the wild, including coyotes, bobcats, foxes, and large owls, which pose real threats to their safety. Coyotes hunt on the ground, often targeting raccoons that forage at night or move across open areas. Large owls, such as great horned owls, can silently swoop down from trees, surprising raccoons with their sharp talons. Even domestic dogs or aggressive cats in urban areas can present dangers. Predators challenge raccoons to be constantly alert, assessing sounds, movements, and scents to detect danger early. Young raccoons are especially vulnerable, relying on the protection of their mother, den locations, and siblings. Encounters with predators test their problem-solving skills, physical ability, and knowledge of safe routes. Surviving in predator-rich areas requires a combination of speed, stealth, intelligence, and awareness. Raccoons' nocturnal habits, climbing abilities, and sharp senses give them an advantage, allowing them to evade threats effectively while continuing to search for food and explore safely in their environment. To escape danger, raccoons rely heavily on climbing and hiding, using their flexible bodies, strong paws, and rotating hind feet to move quickly up trees or across structures. When a predator approaches, raccoons often retreat to hollow trees, dense shrubs, or elevated platforms that are difficult for larger animals to reach. They can scale fences, walls, or rooftops with agility, sometimes traveling long distances through interconnected pathways to avoid open ground. In urban areas, raccoons use attics, chimneys, storm drains, or abandoned buildings as safe hiding spots. Climbing also gives them a bird's-eye view, allowing them to assess potential threats from above. Hiding in narrow spaces or dense vegetation helps raccoons remain undetected while conserving energy and waiting for the danger to pass. These behaviors, combined with keen hearing, night vision, and sensitive touch, make raccoons highly skilled at avoiding predators. Their climbing and hiding strategies demonstrate how intelligence, agility, and instinct work together to ensure survival. When a raccoon senses a nearby threat, it may freeze quietly, relying on stillness as a defensive tactic. By remaining motionless, raccoons reduce the chance of being seen or heard, blending into shadows or underbrush to avoid detection. This freezing behavior is especially useful when predators rely on movement to locate prey. Sometimes raccoons combine freezing with low growls or hisses to warn predators without initiating direct confrontation. Young raccoons learn this strategy from observing their mother, understanding that motionlessness can save their lives during encounters with coyotes, owls, or humans. Freezing also allows raccoons to evaluate the situation, determining whether it is safe to flee, climb, or continue foraging. In urban areas, freezing can prevent encounters with dogs, cars, or people, giving raccoons a critical moment to make decisions. This silent, patient strategy highlights their intelligence and adaptability, showing that survival often depends not on strength alone, but on careful observation and calculated responses to danger. Camouflage is another critical survival tool for raccoons, helping them blend into the dark forests, wetlands, or urban environments they inhabit. Their fur, with shades of gray, brown, black, and white, breaks up their outline against tree bark, leaves, and shadows. The mask-like markings on their face not only reduce glare, but also make it harder for predators to recognize their eyes, helping raccoons remain unnoticed during nighttime activity. Camouflage works together with freezing and hiding behaviors, making raccoons nearly invisible when they pause in dense foliage or on tree branches. Even in urban areas, raccoons can use shadows, fences, and buildings to remain concealed, avoiding detection by humans, dogs, or other threats. Camouflage provides both protection and strategic advantage, allowing raccoons to forage, travel, and rest safely. By blending into their surroundings, Raccoons minimize risk while maximizing access to food and shelter, demonstrating how physical adaptations and intelligent behavior combine to support survival in diverse habitats. Raccoons move quietly through the night, taking advantage of darkness when most animals and humans are asleep. Their padded paws, flexible joints, and careful movements allow them to step softly on leaves, grass, rooftops, or urban surfaces without making much noise. Nighttime activity reduces competition for food, lowers the risk of encounters with predators, and allows raccoons to explore large areas undisturbed. They often pause frequently, listening and sniffing their surroundings before continuing, ensuring they do not attract attention. This quiet movement is combined with keen night vision, sensitive hearing, and strong memory, enabling raccoons to navigate complex environments safely and efficiently. Urban raccoons use fences, chimneys, storm drains, and trees as hidden pathways, moving like shadows through neighborhoods. Their ability to travel several kilometers in a night without being noticed demonstrates skill, intelligence, and adaptability. Quiet nocturnal movement is a survival strategy that allows raccoons to find food, avoid danger, and explore diverse habitats while remaining largely invisible to humans and predators alike. The secretive nature of raccoons keeps them hidden from humans most of the time, making encounters relatively rare despite their presence in forests, parks, and urban areas. By being active at night and resting in secluded dens during the day, raccoons avoid most human observation. They choose safe shelters, such as hollow trees, attics, chimneys, storm drains, or dense vegetation, which provide protection from predators and humans alike. Their intelligence allows them to quickly recognize potential threats, avoid noisy areas, and navigate streets, yards, and neighborhoods without drawing attention. Raccoons are careful about movement, scent, and sound, blending into their environment both physically and behaviorally. Even in cities, their nocturnal habits mean that humans rarely witness their complex foraging, climbing, or problem-solving behaviors. This secretive lifestyle helps raccoons survive alongside humans, taking advantage of urban resources while minimizing risks. Being hidden most of the time is not only a strategy for safety, but also an adaptation that allows raccoons to thrive unnoticed in nearly every environment. Raccoons live most of their lives unnoticed by people, quietly foraging, exploring, and resting, while humans go about their daily routines. Their nocturnal habits, secretive movements, and camouflage help them remain out of sight, even in populated areas. Many people are unaware that raccoons may be traveling across rooftops, rummaging through trash, or swimming in nearby streams just meters from their homes. By staying hidden, raccoons avoid conflict, reduce stress, and maintain access to food and shelter without interference. Their complex behaviors, problem-solving skills, and memory are continuously at work, yet largely invisible to human observers. Young raccoons learn the same strategies from their mother, ensuring that survival techniques are passed down quietly through generations. This unseen lifestyle is a combination of instinct, intelligence, and adaptability, allowing raccoons to occupy both natural and urban spaces efficiently. Living unnoticed gives raccoons the freedom to explore, forage, and reproduce safely, making them one of the most successful mammals in coexisting with humans. Intelligence allows raccoons to quietly adapt to changing environments, giving them the ability to survive challenges that other animals might struggle with. Whether urbanization, deforestation, seasonal changes, or human activity, raccoons assess risks, find new food sources, and locate safe shelters. They learn from experience, remembering which routes are safe, which neighborhoods provide reliable resources, and how to avoid hazards. This adaptability is combined with problem-solving skills, sensitive paws, keen senses, and memory, allowing raccoons to explore novel areas with confidence. In urban settings, raccoons adjust their activity patterns to avoid humans, exploit garbage bins, gardens, and water sources, and navigate obstacles like fences and roads. In forests or wetlands, they use climbing, swimming, and foraging skills to take advantage of seasonal food while avoiding predators. Intelligence also allows raccoons to teach their young essential survival strategies, passing on knowledge that enhances long-term adaptability. By combining mental flexibility with physical skills, raccoons can quietly thrive in nearly any environment, demonstrating why they are among the most resourceful and successful mammals. Raccoons continue their nightly routines regardless of human activity, showing remarkable adaptability and resilience. Whether in quiet forests, busy urban neighborhoods, or parks filled with people, raccoons follow their patterns of foraging, climbing, exploring, and social interaction. They adjust their movements to avoid humans, pausing, hiding, or choosing alternate routes when necessary, but rarely interrupt their essential activities. Their sensitive paws, keen hearing, and night vision allow them to operate silently and efficiently, even in areas with lights, traffic, or noise. Urban raccoons may climb fences, rooftops, or enter storm drains, while rural raccoons navigate streams, trees, and dense vegetation, all without significant disruption. These nightly routines ensure raccoons meet their survival needs, including finding food, water, and shelter, while caring for young or maintaining territory. Observing their consistent patterns highlights intelligence, problem-solving skills, and adaptability. Regardless of human presence, raccoons remain active explorers, silently maintaining their lives and routines while largely unnoticed, demonstrating how flexible and determined they are in coexisting with human environments. Raccoons play an important role in balancing ecosystems, serving as both predators and prey while influencing multiple layers of the food web. By consuming insects, small animals, fruits, and other organic matter, raccoons regulate populations of species that could otherwise grow unchecked. They provide a food source for larger predators, such as coyotes, bobcats, and large owls, connecting different levels of the ecosystem. Raccoons also influence plant growth indirectly, as they disperse seeds from fruits and berries they consume, helping maintain healthy forest regeneration. Their scavenging behavior reduces waste accumulation in natural habitats, preventing potential disease outbreaks or overgrowth of decaying material. In urban areas, raccoons continue to contribute by cleaning up fallen fruit, garden waste, or leftover human food. Scientists studying ecosystems note that raccoons' presence promotes biodiversity and ecosystem stability, showing that even small, nocturnal mammals have a large ecological impact. By combining foraging, scavenging, and seed dispersal, raccoons actively support the health and balance of their environments. Raccoons' scavenging habits help clean up organic waste in nature, providing a natural recycling system that benefits plants, animals, and the soil. When raccoons feed on fallen fruit, insects, small animals, or decomposing material, they reduce accumulation of waste that could attract pests or spread disease. This behavior ensures that nutrients return to the soil more quickly through their droppings, supporting plant growth and maintaining ecosystem health. Scavenging also allows raccoons to find diverse food sources, increasing survival rates during lean periods. In urban areas, raccoons clean up trash, garden waste, and leftover food, preventing larger infestations and keeping neighborhoods somewhat tidier. Their methodical, nocturnal approach to scavenging demonstrates intelligence and problem-solving, as they locate, handle and consume food efficiently. By feeding on organic waste, raccoons serve as natural cleaners, turning potential hazards into usable energy for themselves while benefiting the broader ecosystem. This dual role emphasizes how raccoons' behaviors support environmental health and contribute to ecological balance. Raccoons contribute to ecosystems in additional ways, particularly through seed dispersal and insect control, which support plant growth and reduce pest populations. When raccoons consume fruits, berries, and nuts, seeds pass through their digestive system and are deposited elsewhere, often in areas where they can germinate, helping forests, wetlands, and urban green spaces regenerate naturally. This accidental planting promotes biodiversity, ensuring a variety of plants grow in different locations. Additionally, raccoons feed on insects, including beetles, larvae, and other small invertebrates, which helps prevent overpopulation of pest species that could damage plants or spread disease. Their nocturnal foraging balances populations of insects and small animals, contributing to overall ecosystem stability. Young raccoons learn these behaviors from observing their mother, continuing the cycle of ecological contribution. By combining scavenging, seed dispersal, and insect control, raccoons provide multiple benefits to nature, demonstrating that even a small, secretive animal can play a significant role in maintaining healthy, balanced environments. Raccoons, despite being small and often unnoticed, have quietly survived for thousands of years, demonstrating remarkable resilience and adaptability. Through ice ages, climate changes, and shifts in ecosystems, these creatures have continued to thrive, relying on intelligence, keen senses, and flexible behavior. Their ability to climb, swim, forage, solve problems, and avoid predators has allowed them to maintain stable populations in forests, wetlands, and more recently, urban environments. Young raccoons learn survival skills from their mother, ensuring that knowledge passes from generation to generation. Even when humans began altering landscapes, raccoons adjusted their behavior to exploit new food sources, navigate obstacles, and find shelter. Their nocturnal habits, secretive movement, and keen memory have allowed them to remain largely unseen while quietly maintaining their lives. Observing raccoons over time shows that success in nature often comes from intelligence, flexibility, and patience. These small mammals have endured environmental pressures and human expansion, quietly proving that adaptability and awareness are powerful tools for survival in any setting. Imagine a raccoon finishing its night of exploring, moving silently under the cover of darkness, having navigated streets, trees, and streams in search of food, water, and safe resting spots. It has investigated trash bins, crept across rooftops, and waded through shallow water, using its keen senses to avoid danger while gathering nourishment. Its sensitive paws have felt, manipulated, and explored every object it encounters, while its memory recalls paths, landmarks, and hidden resources. The raccoon's nocturnal adventure is methodical, combining intelligence, curiosity, and survival skills, yet it is carried out quietly, unseen by most humans. Over several hours, the raccoon has maximized opportunities for food and safety, adapting to the environment and any obstacles encountered. Now, as the night nears its end, the raccoon prepares to retreat, wrapping up a successful, efficient, and fully engaged night. Its journey reflects a balance of instinct, skill, and awareness that has allowed raccoons to thrive across centuries. As the sun begins to rise, the raccoon climbs back into its hollow tree, carefully navigating branches and using its rotating hind feet to descend safely. Inside the hollow, it curls up on a bed of leaves or soft materials, creating a cozy, secure resting place. This retreat provides warmth, protection from predators, and a quiet environment to recover after the night's activity. The raccoon's thick fur and fat reserves help it stay comfortable during the morning hours, while the hollow offers a vantage point for monitoring the environment without being seen. Young raccoons, if present, snuggle close to their mother, learning safety and comfort through observation. The tree hollow becomes a private sanctuary, marking the transition from nocturnal exploration to daytime rest. The raccoons' climb and retreat demonstrate agility, intelligence, and awareness, highlighting how each night's activities are carefully balanced with recovery. This moment of rest is a crucial part of the raccoon's life cycle, ensuring survival and energy for the next night's adventure. While the world wakes up, people begin their routines, and light fills streets, fields, and forests. The raccoon finally rests, hidden in its secure den. Its night of foraging, climbing, exploring, and problem-solving has come to an end, and it now enters a state of quiet, safe rest. The raccoon's body recovers energy, memories of safe routes and food locations are reinforced, and young raccoons, if present, settle into the warmth of family protection. Even as humans, birds, and other diurnal creatures become active, the raccoon remains unnoticed, maintaining its secretive, efficient lifestyle. This daily rhythm reflects the raccoon's remarkable adaptation to both natural and urban environments, balancing survival, exploration, and rest with precision. When darkness returns, the raccoon will rise again, repeating the cycle of nocturnal life, exploring, foraging, and learning. For now, as the world awakens, the raccoon sleeps, quietly embodying resilience, intelligence, and the subtle rhythm of life that has allowed these fascinating creatures to thrive for thousands of years.